This tutorial is going to cover some more of the basics of CorelDRAW, various shapes, as well as outlines, and welding and trimming. So first off, let's go ahead and use the rectangle tool to make a rectangle. And then the next tool is the ellipse tool. We're going to make a circle. And if we want to make a perfect circle, go ahead and hold down Control on your keyboard and then click and drag, and it'll be a perfect circle. The next tool, we have the polygon tool, which allows us to make a polygon, and we can change how many sides it has by changing the number up here and hitting enter. Underneath of the polygon tool is the star tool. If you're using an older version of CorelDRAW, there might not be a star tool. You may have to use the polygon tool to create a star. So then we're going to create a star, and you can change the sides of the star as well, how many points and things like that. We do have some other shapes available under this basic shapes button, and if you click on this, you can see various shapes that are offered. Now we're going to color these a few different colors just so it's easier to work with. And you'll notice that all of these objects default with a small black outline. If you want to change that outline, you can. Go ahead and select the object, and there's two ways to do it. You can double click on the outline color square here, or you can go to the outline tool and press outline pen. That brings up the window for the outline pen. You can click here, go to other, click on your palettes, and you can choose a Pantone color. We're going to choose a dark gray. I'm going to go ahead and make it 8 points. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click behind fill and scale with image. And now you can see that I have a gray outline on this square. Let me cover this one more time. If you click on the circle, double click on the outline tool, go to other. You can choose a particular color off the palette. As your outline, you can change the thickness. And I like to do behind the fill and scale with image. Let me explain that a little bit more, what the difference is between behind fill and scale with image. I'm going to take this off to the side, and I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to click Control C on my keyboard to copy it, Control V to paste it. I'm going to move it off to the side. Now I have an exact copy of it. I'm going to hit Control V one more time for an extra copy. I'm going to move that below. And then on this bottom one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the outline dialog, and you'll see I don't change the width. I keep the width at 8 points, but I uncheck behind fill. What this does is it puts the outline above your object rather than kind of around and below it. So it appears to be thicker. So it's really up to your preference whether you want it behind fill or not. Another thing I want to show you is what happens if you don't click scale with image. So I'm going to take the copy off to the left here. I'm going to go into its outline properties and uncheck scale with image and hit OK. So this one on the left does not have scale with image. The one on the right does. Then I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard and select the other one so that I have both of them selected. Then I'm just going to click and drag the corner to scale them down. And you'll notice as I scale them down, The one on the right keeps the outline proportionate to the original size. The one on the left, since we didn't press scale with image, the outline's gotten thicker as we made the design smaller. So it's always best to have that selected as you're working, just in case you change the size of the object later on. Another thing I want to cover is trimming objects and welding objects. So say I want to take this circle and combine it with this star as one shape. I'm going to select the circle first and then select the star by holding down Shift and clicking on it. So they're both selected now. I'm going to press Weld, the Weld button here. And now those two objects are now one object, welded together, combined together. It's going to take the properties of the second thing you click on whenever you weld something. So if I clicked on the star first and then shift clicked on the circle and hit weld, it's going to take the color and outline properties of the circle to the new shape. Another thing I want to show is if you trim an object, I'm going to take the outline off of this for presentation purposes. I'm going to take this octagon and I'm going to go Arrange, Order, to Back. I'm going to kind of put it behind here so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to take this cross, Shift select the blue square and hit Trim this time. And then I'm going to click off to the side, click on the cross, press delete on my keyboard to get rid of it. And now you see that I've trimmed the cross shape out of the square. So this polygon that's behind here, we can see through the square because we've trimmed that shape out of the square. One more thing I want to cover is aligning objects with each other. Say you want to get that star to be centered in the middle of this square. First I'm going to move it to the top since it's behind the square right now. First I'm going to show you a shortcut. It's going to be if you hold down Control and then page up, it's going to move it above the other object. If you hold down Control page down, it's going to move it below it. And then Shift page up is going to bring it above everything, and Shift page down is going to bring it below everything. So we have it in front of this now, but instead of trying to eyeball it on centering it, what we're going to do is we're going to select the star first, Shift select this rectangle, and go to Arrange, Align and Distribute, and then I'm going to click Center and Center so that it'll be right in the middle there exactly, and hit Apply, and then now you see that it's exactly centered on the rectangle there. And that pretty much covers a few more basics of CorelDRAW.